The Secret Misses. Chapter 841. The Goldberg family is ridiculous. We didn't even say anything when Theo had a child before getting married, and you were just trying to be considerate to that child. Not only are they not grateful, how could they put the blame on you? Thomas was incensed after he found out what had happened from her daughter. Don't make a scene, Father. Uncle Matthew and Auntie Margaret did not blame me. They were comforting me by assuring me that it has nothing to do with me. They even thanked me. Willow explained. Thomas's expression softened. That's more like it. That woman, is she really that close to Little Treasure? Willow nodded unhappily. I saw Little Treasure addressing her as his mother. Thomas was not surprised. He looked at his daughter and asked quietly, Willow, what do you think is your top priority now? Improving my relationship with Little Treasure, Willow replied. Thomas shook his head. You're wrong. Although you're smart, you really have mistaken your priority here. With that kid's current condition, he's as good as useless trash now. What good could come out of you improving your relationship with trash? That woman already had the child on her side, but did you see Matthew and Margaret being nice to her? They didn't acknowledge her even if she was already in a relationship with Theo. She was not invited and could only attend the event today by using that child. Willow thought about it. It's because that woman is from an unknown lineage. I can also see that Uncle Matthew and Auntie Margaret are really concerned about Little Treasure, so I'd like to at least have him like me, then Theo might start to notice my worth. Thomas sighed and explained to her, Little Treasure is their only successor, and he's their actual grandson, so of course, they'd be concerned. It's exactly because they are concerned that they will be very strict and careful with selecting the mother to Little Treasure. Do you understand what does the position as the future Madam of Goldberg family mean? No matter how close the woman gets to Little Treasure, at best, they would just hire her to become a private tutor, or even his nanny, to take care of him. But do you think Matthew would be stupid enough to let her marry Theo? Well. Willow started to falter. Thomas gave his daughter a pat on the back. Willow, don't get your priorities wrong. What you should do now is to impress Matthew and Margaret. Of course, it'll be easy for you. You've mentioned the main point just now. That woman is not from a renowned family, so no matter how much she tries, she will never get into the Goldberg family. You have to act more generously, don't be irritated by such small matters. Act like the lady capable of holding up the Goldberg family, then the position will be yours, understood? Father, I understand. After listening, Willow sat up straight, her annoyance fading at once. Thomas beamed at his daughter. That's great. There was another important thing that he did not mention. By the time Willow joined the Goldberg family and had her own child with Theo, Matthew and Margaret would definitely be pleased to have a grandchild with such amazing genes from the Guan family. When that time came, they would definitely shift their focus away from that trash. Chapter 842. There were sounds of knocking on the door, so Luna opened the door. A maid was carefully holding a bowl of soup outside. Ms. Brown, this is some ginger soup as per Madame Margaret's instructions. It can help to prevent a cold. All right, thank you, I'll feed little master with this once he's done showering. You're welcome, it's my job. The little maid bowed before leaving. Luna left the ginger soup on the table and knocked on the bathroom door. Theo, are you guys done? We're done, Theo replied from the bathroom. Theo brought Little Treasure out. The little bun had a big towel wrapped around him, his hair still damp, looking all fluffy in his father's arms. Luna was charmed instantly and stretched out her arms. Theo, I want to hold him. The little bun extended his arms as well and Theo gently passed him over to Luna. Luna kissed the little guy on his cheek, then she spooned the ginger soup into his mouth. Little Treasure, this soup might not taste very nice, but it's good for preventing colds, it's good for your health. The little bun drank it all without struggling. Luna clapped her hands. You're awesome. You finished it. The little bun looked at her brightly after he changed into his clean clothes and drank the ginger soup. Luna checked the time and advised, Theo, you should bring Little Treasure out to greet the guests first. Theo nodded and did not ask Luna if she decided to let little treasure stay. The little bun was a little anxious when he heard Luna. Luna patted his head as she smiled. Don't you worry, you go down with your father first, I'll be there after I change. The little bun quickly calmed down. He nodded and held his father's hand. After comforting the little bun, she looked at Theo hesitantly. Well, boss, I'm giving you a heads up. I might be doing something offensive later. Theo replied, be as offensive as you like, I'll back you up. Luna was speechless. Why did he sound like a dictator? But even so, he was so charming. She felt it was awesome that someone was backing her up even though she was about to do something really nasty. We haven't seen CEO Goldberg tonight. I didn't see him as well, probably he's not coming. Some people were already talking about Theo as was nowhere to be seen. It was his father's 60th birthday, and as the current head of the Goldberg family, it was inappropriate for him not to attend. Most people were already sure that something had happened to the little master. As people were asking around, Matthew started to worry about little treasure's condition now. Theo. As Matthew was about to cook up an excuse, suddenly two familiar shadows entered from the entrance. Someone noticed, then yelled, "Oh! CEO Goldberg is here." Ugh, the kid beside CEO Goldberg is. Suddenly, everyone was looking towards the entrance. Chapter 843. Theo had a black suit on him, his tie standing out in a bright color. As usual, he showed no expression with his ice-cold aura. Yet, this cold and strange man was holding a little boy's hand. The little boy looked about 5 or 6 years old with fair skin and big eyes. He wore the same retro-style suit as Theo, looking like a little gentleman from the past. Most importantly, while the little boy looked cute, it was obvious that he looked almost identical to his father. His aura and expression were exactly the same as the man's next to him. Judging by his looks alone, it was easy to know that he was the rumored little master of the Goldberg family. Facing such a big crowd and everyone's stare, his expression remained the same. Just like his father, he was calm and collected. Suddenly, everyone thought that this was as expected of a child from the Goldberg family. However, that was weird. Was the rumor not that the little master was retarded and had to stay hidden from the public? How did that boy look retarded? The crowd surrounded them when Theo came down through the stairs with little treasure, and everyone greeted them warmly. Oh! This must be Leo. He has grown so much. I remember the last time we met was 5 years ago at his full moon celebration party. How time flies. Leo, do you still remember me? You came to my house when you were 3, I even held you before. Many guests of the elder generation commented, when I saw Leo just now, for a moment I thought he was Theo. He looked exactly the same when he was little. You're right. Luna, here are the clothes you requested. I tried my best to borrow it from Joy, and she almost suspected me to be a pervert. Cleo complained while holding a maid's outfit in his hands. Luna quickly took them and looked at him happily. That's great. Thank you. Luna, are you really going to wear that tonight? Well, I think, my brother will surely like your uniform seduction. Don't you want to be all glamorous and beautiful for the occasion today? At least, pose a threat to Willow. I could arrange the outfits for you now, or even get you a professional stylist. Cleo suggested excitedly. Luna glanced at Cleo's charged-up expression. No, thank you, I can move around easier in this. She grinned. Tonight, it's not my stage. Cleo was confused. Then whose? You'll find out later. Get out now. I'm going to change. Yes, madam. Cleo quickly stepped out. He was suddenly looking forward to his brother's reaction when he saw Luna in a maid's outfit. All the servants' outfits in the Goldberg family were personally handled by him, including the designs and material selection. He had put the most effort into the maid outfits. Chapter 844. In the banquet hall, Little Treasure was the center of attraction. All the guests tried to talk to him as soon as they saw his cute, chubby face. Even if there was something really wrong with him, he definitely looked cute. Looking at the people around talking to him, and with the fact that Mother Luna was not here yet, Little Treasure was getting impatient. He felt like running away again. He did not want to stay here anymore. Theo realized the little guy's discomfort, so he looked at his son and spoke to him quietly, "Wait for a while more." The little bun blinked his eyes and trailed after his father unhappily. Little Treasure stayed silent the whole time. His broodiness got more and more obvious as some attentive guests noticed and asked out of concern, "CEO Goldberg, why does Leo not look very well tonight? Is he not feeling well? If he's not well, let the child have some rest. Don't push himself too hard," Thomas suggested. "That's right, health is more important." Amongst the guests' concerned opinions, suddenly there was the clear voice of a girl coming through. "First Master, I'm here." A girl in a maid's outfit ran towards them. The girl had her hair tied up in double pigtails. Her eyes were big and she had very fair skin. She looked pretty young and she appeared out of breath before Theo. With a respectful gesture, she said, "First Master." Theo coughed lightly to recover from his wife's sudden attack in the form of uniform seduction. Theo handed his son to Luna and said calmly, "Bring Little Master to eat something first." "All right, First Master." "Little Master, follow me." Luna bent down and extended her hand to Little Treasure as she cheekily blinked at him. The little bun looked at Mother, surprised. He gave her a big smile and happily followed her to the food area. Theo was speechless as Luna and Little Treasure walked away happily. He did not expect her to accompany Little Treasure this way, but it did seem like something she would do. No wonder Little Treasure looked unhappy. He's hungry. It's the period of growing for little kids, they have to be well fed every meal. Matthew's tensed-up body relaxed and he smiled. That kid is not very outspoken. He doesn't usually like to talk. He thought Luna would surely try to take the spotlight or even stick beside Theo to declare her status as his girlfriend, yet she had chosen to stay beside Little Treasure quietly, taking him by surprise. "Ha ha ha, just like Theo when he was little." Matthew chuckled, "That's different, Theo was much more boring than Leo." The crowd laughed. The bunch of old friends reminisced about the fun stuff that happened when Theo and Cleo were still little and the atmosphere softened. So, it was genetical after all. Little Treasure's quietness was explained, and nothing seemed strange anymore. Chapter 845. At a quiet table inside the banquet hall. "What did you say? That little maid is Theo's girlfriend?" "Yes, but I don't understand why she's dressed that way." Willow could not help feeling that that woman was hiding something. Thomas replied in a tone of contempt, "Matthew and Margaret aren't acknowledging her, so she does not dare to appear beside Theo in public and has to act as a servant. Willow, you don't have to waste your time on a person like her, spend your effort." As Thomas was still lecturing his daughter, Theo suddenly came over. "Uncle Thomas, thank you for coming to my father's birthday dinner tonight." Thomas was flattered as Theo had come to greet him personally. He smiled at the man. "You're much welcome, Theo, I'm good friends with your father." After some small talk, Theo raised his hand to signal someone. While Luna was eating with Little Treasure, she suddenly saw Theo summoning her, so she let Little Treasure know. Then she ran over. "First Master, is there anything I can help you with?" Thomas and Willow looked at Theo in confusion, unsure of why he had asked this woman to come over. Maybe he wanted to ask her to get some wine. Theo looked at the girl gently, then looked at Thomas and introduced them. "Uncle Thomas, this is my girlfriend, Luna. Luna, this is Uncle Thomas, a good friend of my father's. You don't have to put up an act in front of him." Ah, what was the devil trying to do, introducing her to Thomas? Was he trying to irritate Thomas and Willow? Fine. It might be intentional. Luna was surprised, but she went along with Theo and greeted, "Hello, Uncle Thomas." Hello. Thomas looked very displeased all of a sudden. What did Theo mean by this? He knew that their families had the intention for him and Willow marry, yet he had introduced this woman to him on purpose. However, he did not say anything more. After all, Theo had not done anything wrong and was just being polite by introducing her to him. You can go and take care of little treasure now. Theo gestured to Luna to go back after she had greeted them. Then, as if he did not notice Thomas and Willow's change in expressions, Theo continued, that was inappropriate of me. I actually wanted to introduce her to everyone, but Luna really prioritizes her career. Because of her job, we can't publicly announce our relationship just yet. I just have to put up with it. Right, it was inevitable. Thomas was so offended that he almost snapped the stem of his wine glass by holding it tightly, but he still had to maintain his integrity as Theo's elder. On the other hand, Willow was weaker and she already looked pale. Thomas took a deep breath and returned to a calm state as he faked a smile. Theo, as your elder, I have to remind you that the girl does not come from a prestigious family and that she's not worthy of you. I'm afraid that your parents would not acknowledge her as well, yes? You have to understand that girls from that industry are mostly into it for money, but it's alright if you're just playing around. If you're being serious, that's really inappropriate then. Theo looked at Thomas and replied expressionlessly, thank you for your concern. In terms of statuses and all that, it's sure unworthy. I'm not worthy of Luna. Chapter 846. With that, Theo spun away on his heel. Thomas and Willow were stunned. What did Theo mean? What did Theo mean just now? Isn't that woman just the adopted daughter abandoned by the Brown family? Thomas frowned. It seems like she's not adopted, she's the biological daughter. Willow mumbled. Thomas sneered, even if she's from the Brown family, she's nothing compared to you. But according to what Theo said, it seems like the woman has some other more prestigious identity. Thomas thought about it and assured, I'll investigate further later on, pay it no mind. That guy is still too young and he probably just wanted to irritate me plus oppose his family's arrangement. In the whole of Imperial, how many people are there that the Goldberg family is not worthy of? There's only a handful of them. And none of them could ever be related to Luna. The dinner continued harmoniously and most of the crowd focused on the elusive little master of the Goldberg family. Some people even secretly hoped that the child would embarrass himself out of their jealousy. To their chagrin, they were all disappointed as little treasure was really obedient after following Luna. To everyone, there was no difference compared to a normal kid. His condition seemed to have stabilized after 2 years of treatment. If not, the Goldberg family would not have let him appear in public. Aside from the little master of the Goldberg family, the other star of the night could only be the genius from the recently returned Kingston family. As expected of a top student, he did not forget about his studies even during the dinner. He heard that some bright people were gathered here today, so he actually brought a few maths questions that he was unable to solve. To his delight, some guests were interested and tried to solve the equations with him. Oh my gosh, is this really a middle school mathematics question? This is crazy. I pity students nowadays. Ha ha ha, Jake, you're just an underachiever. You don't even understand the questions. These are university-level questions, and they are at a competitive level, someone mocked Jake. Jake's mouth twitched. Ugh, fine, it's not the questions that are crazy, this top student from the Kingston family is crazy. Ah. I think I solved it. Is the answer to the first question -9? A young teen with glasses asked eagerly. Charlie replied expressionlessly as he shook his head, nope, the answer is 0. Ugh, I'm wrong again. The young teen was disappointed. I've worked out the solution already. I can teach you, but I can't solve the second question yet. Elder Kingston. Your grandson is amazing. A few guests were gawking at the group of brainiac kids, their eyes were full of envy. Matthew praised the boy as well, like father, like son. Thomas shrugged helplessly. He's going to become a bookworm, I'm really having a headache about it. I brought him here to help him relax, yet now he even brought his questions up when I was not noticing. Elder Kingston, you should be glad. My kid at home would not even try to read even if I beat him up. Can your kid compare to Elder Kingston's grandson? His IQ is 180 and he's already received several International Olympic Mathematics Awards at the age of 10. Chapter 847. He's really amazing. I think he's even better than Theo when he was young. The younger generations are getting better and better, a close guest of the family's commented. As the host, Matthew went along with the crowd and praised Thomas since they were going to become a family soon, but he chuckled to himself when he heard that comment. Better than Theo when he was little? That was some big talk. Matthew did not show his emotions on the surface nonetheless. Of course, he's better than Theo. Thomas waved his hands in denial. You guys have to stop praising him, he's going to become full of himself. He could never be up to Theo's standard. I would be really glad if he could be at least half capable as his uncle Theo. You're too humble, Elder Goldberg, he's going to do something great. For families like ours, the most important thing isn't the money we earn or the properties we own, it's the people. As long as our successors are capable, that's the real treasure of the family. No matter how great your family is, with an incapable successor, it will surely fall in a few generations. That's right. Elder Kingston is really blessed. Willow, and Charlie are all superb. Exactly, unlike us, still having to worry about the useless kids at home. Many people were able to relate to their words, at the same time, suddenly remembering the worrying situation of the heir to the Goldberg family. So what if they were the richest family in Imperial? No matter how great Theo was, he could, at most, hang on for 1 or maybe 2 generations. Numerous shareholders and supporters had their eyes on the family. If there was no capable successor after Theo, things might be chaotic and the Goldberg dynasty might even fall within a night. It was not an uncommon sight in cases like these. No one could predict what would happen in the future. Somewhere in the banquet hall, Luna noticed a group of people flattering the Kingston family, and she knew her chance had arrived. Jake and a few other guys had been defeated by Charlie's mathematics question and were even humiliated by their own parents, making them all feel very embarrassed. Jake could not help it anymore, so he spoke up helplessly, Charlie, we're all underachievers here. Even if we learned about it before, it's been so long ago that we've all forgotten about it. Why not you ask your aunt? Surely she could solve them. Charlie looked at Willow and mumbled, she explained it to me before but I didn't get it, then she got angry at me and was unwilling to teach me again. Ugh, well. Jake shrugged cluelessly but he then suddenly thought of something. I know. Uncle Theo will surely know this. Where's Theo? Willow stared at Jake unhappily. Theo is busy, don't pester him, it's Charlie's fault for not being able to solve this, let him think on his own. Willow, you're too strict. Charlie is only 13. Jake replied. Chapter 848. The crowd was impressed by the education method of the Kingston. This is what I call real elite education. They are this strict to their sole male grandchild, no wonder he's this amazing. Hey, Elder Kingston, what's the secret to educating kids? Give us some tips. As the guests were discussing children's education with Thomas, a girl's clear voice came through, Master Jake, I heard you're looking for First Master. Was there something you need? He is greeting some guests outside. I can help you to send a message if it's something urgent. Oh, it's nothing urgent, just a mathematics question. Ugh, you, little bunny, how are you here? His voice faded off to a lower tone. Jake was shocked when he realized who the maid he was talking to was. He almost could not recognize her disguise. Luna ignored his question and continued her act, scanning the questions Jake had in his hands. This looks easy, we shouldn't need First Master. Is it all right if I get Little Master to help? What? Jake thought he heard her wrong. Who did you say? Little Treasure? Luna nodded. Yes, our Master Leo. Jake ignored Luna's outfit, he reminded her, little girl, look at this properly, but you probably don't understand it as well, anyways, this is not some kindergarten mathematics, it's advanced mathematics, and these are competitive-leveled questions. Oh, no problem, Master Jake, Little Master is really good. Luna blinked her eyes and asked Little Treasure in a coy voice, Little Master, this little brother here needs some help with a question. Can you help him? Little Treasure nodded in enthusiasm. Matthew was already frowning when Luna had appeared, and now he felt it was ridiculous when he realized what she was trying to do. He suppressed his anger and stopped her. "There's nothing for you to do here. Stop bothering the guests and bring the little master somewhere else." Seeing how this maid was acting so foolishly, some guests pitied Matthew, but most of them were laughing inside. Why did the Goldberg family get someone so stupid to take care of the little master? Could it be easier for them to communicate with their low IQ? Thomas and Willow looked at each other in amusement. Before, they were cautious about this woman's presence, but now they thought she could be ignored. Seeing the maid from the Goldberg family asking a little kid to help him, and even bragging that he could surely solve it, Charlie felt humiliated. Flaring his nostrils haughtily, he handed over his workbook. "You said that he can help me?" "Sure, let him try." Willow tried to stop him. "Charlie, stop being unreasonable. Leo is only 5 years old." "I'm sorry for the fuss." Matthew had never felt this embarrassed. "It's all right, she just didn't get to look at the questions properly." Thomas acted generously. The woman was probably trying to get on Matthew's good side, but she could not even understand the standards of these questions. How foolish. Suddenly, the crowd was cheering. Chapter 849. As the guests were talking, Little Treasure scrawled a number on the exercise book. "Hey, Leo wrote a 0, what's the correct answer again?" "It was 0, wasn't it?" "That's right. It's 0. Leo got it right." At that moment, Thomas, Willow, Charlie, and even Matthew were shocked. Charlie frowned. "Leo, you could tell me if you don't know. You shouldn't simply doodle on the exercise book." Charlie did not think it was a number. Many people, including Matthew, assumed that Little Treasure was probably doodling his circles. Luna squatted down and spoke to the little bun gently. "Little master, you can't do it this way. He doesn't understand how to solve the question, so you have to write down all the steps in detail, then only you can help him." Little Treasure blinked and looked at his mother, then he started scribbling on the exercise book obediently. As Little Treasure started to write more and more, the crowd was surprised. Their surprise soon turned into shock, and in the end, they were terrified, not believing what they were seeing. Jake was especially bewildered. He opened his eyes wide and exclaimed, "Wow! Did Archimedes just possess Little Treasure?" Willow took a glance and tried to say something, but she did not dare to bother Little Treasure. Suddenly, everyone was focused on the little boy. There was pin-drop silence. Little Treasure was totally focused in his own world, unaffected by the intense stares on him, his little hands writing rows and rows of complicated formulae non-stop. Finally, Little Treasure was done. He then put down the answer, 0, at the end and looked up at his mother with inquiring eyes. Luna gave the little bun a big smile and passed the exercise book to Charlie. "Little Master Charlie, please check if you can understand this time." In the blank space of the exercise book, Little Treasure had clearly explained the steps to solve the equation because Auntie Luna specifically mentioned to him to write it in detail. He even used arrows to point out a few formulas, and included some messages in brackets, as if he was teaching a kindergarten child. Soon, the exercise book was passed around the crowd. Little Treasure's solution was so detailed that even the underachievers could understand it, and they praised him. "This is really amazing. Even I understand it. I thought I'm not comparable to a 13-year-old, but I was wrong, even a 5-year-old is better than I am. The way he solved it is really brilliant. It's not a conventional method, is it? Ms. Willow, what do you think? Is he correct?" Willow looked through the exercise book, then looked at the little guy in Luna's arms in total shock. She spoke hesitantly, "It's completely correct, every step is perfect, there's no mistake at all." Chapter 850. It was as if she just saw a shadow of Theo back in time. The way they solved questions was the same. But Little Treasure was only 5 years old. This was shocking. The crowd was surprised as they heard what Willow said. Impossible. This little guy actually solved it? Not only that, Willow even gave him such high approval. Unbelievable. Since they all witnessed Little Treasure write down all the steps on his own, they could not help but believe it. Compared to Thomas's obvious plan to show off his grandson, Little Treasure's unintentional show was much more impactful. Suddenly, everyone was talking to Matthew about him. Elder Goldberg. You're really hiding some good stuff. No wonder you always don't let us see him. Your grandson is really a genius. The genes from the Goldberg family is outstanding. Brilliant. This is not just brilliant. He's already on another level. I was probably still playing with mud when I was 5. As the praises kept on flowing in, Matthew was unable to put his feelings into words. He felt like a burden had just been lifted from his chest. You all really misunderstood me. I really don't know about this talent of his. Probably the child learned on his own when he was flipping through the books. Leo is like his father, always having his own ideas, so he just explores things on his own. Matthew replied. You don't even need to do anything, he's already great on his own. So, it is true that geniuses act differently from others. As expected of the Goldberg family. If it wasn't for the maid just now, we would never have known how smart this kid is. Don't you know low-key showing off is the coolest? Someone mentioned that Charlie was even better than Theo, yet he can't even be compared to his 5-year-old son. The ladies were staring at the little bun with excitement. Oh my God, Theo's genes are so amazing. I'd like to have some, my ovaries are exploding. You're so dirty-minded. What? Don't tell me you didn't think about that. So what if we got it? Can you ensure that your own genes don't mess up the baby's IQ? Speaking of which, I'm really curious about this child's mother. Her genes must be exceptional as well. Cleo saw everything as he stepped into the room as Luna just controlled the crowd quietly and brilliantly. Impressive. Luna Bro's acting was really impressive. She just gave the Kingston family a slap in the face. Now, he understood why she chose to wear the maid outfit and stay by Little Treasure. He also realized who the main character of the night was. Theo was looking calm, his expression practically radiating with, "Look how great my wife is." Does Luna not think about what could happen if Little Treasure didn't know how to solve it? Cleo suddenly asked. Theo glanced at him, then replied expressionlessly, "Do you think my son would be that useless?" Cleo was speechless. The lovey-dovey devil was now showing off his son. How could Cleo live on anymore? Chapter 851. Luna felt a little better after embarrassing Charlie. The so-called genius Charlie was not satisfied, so he gave Little Treasure another few more difficult questions, but in the end, Little Treasure was able to solve all of them. The people who were surrounding Charlie now gathered around Little Treasure, some even trying to touch him to get some smart aura from him, which made Luna speechless. Surprisingly, Little Treasure was patient today. He remained calm even when the crowd was being noisy around him, just looking really cute to everyone else. He only had eyes for his mother when she was holding his hand. It did not matter if the crowd got even rowdier. I didn't expect Little Treasure to be this good. People say that boys who are good at maths are charming, but he's awesome. I feel like pinching his cheeks. He looks so cute. Little Treasure suddenly gained himself a lot of fans, some trying to be his godmother, some even intending to set up a marriage with their children. Suddenly, Charlie was totally ignored. All the praises and envious gazes that were supposed to be his were now stolen away by this little kid. The boy's expression darkened. As everyone was surrounding the little bun, he suddenly spoke up. I read from a book and it says that children with autism are usually gifted in certain aspects. Now I realize that it's true. Charlie's voice was loud and almost everyone heard what he said. The atmosphere chilled down instantly, making everyone feel awkward. Luna squinted her eyes. Matthew felt like someone just slapped him in the face, his contented expression now frozen. Yet, this kid was Thomas's most precious grandson, so no matter how angry he was, there was nothing he could do. Thomas and Willow's expression changed instantly. Willow rushed over and pulled him over, scolding him in a harsh tone, "Charlie. What are you talking about?" Thomas's expression was serious as well. Charlie apologized to him. Where did you hear about all this nonsense? It was not a thing to be proud of. Talking to Matthew and Margaret about it in private was done out of concern, but airing it like dirty laundry in public was an obvious act of destroying the relationship with the Goldbergs. Moreover, it was Matthew's deepest scar. Charlie had never felt this embarrassed before, and had never been scolded by his grandfather and aunt in public, so he was frustrated. The book wrote it that way, and this kid had autism, so what did he do wrong? Charlie continued talking loudly. I'm not talking nonsense, he has autism. If not, why does he not talk? Why does he need a servant to speak up for him? Charlie lost control of his emotions, creating more awkwardness. Everyone looked at each other and no one knew what to say. No one expected things to escalate this way. Charlie had just revealed the skeleton in the Goldberg family's closet today. Chapter 852. Thomas slapped Charlie hard. Shut up. I told you to apologize. Did you hear me? It doesn't matter if people gossip about it. How could you believe them that easily? How does Leo look like he's sick? No matter how much he loved his grandson, he had to do something in order to keep the situation under control. Thomas had something else on his mind. Although what happened today might make Matthew unhappy, Leo had become completely useless after today, one competitor to the position of successor easily removed. Too bad he had to treat Charlie this way. Charlie was stunned, unable to believe what just happened. Grandfather, you slapped me. Although Thomas was always strict with him in public, he was always kind and nice to him at home. It was the first time in his life that his grandfather had slapped him, all because of this stupid dumb kid. Since Thomas had taken such drastic measures, it would be inappropriate for Matthew to blame the child even further. Matthew gripped his walking staff tightly. It's okay, Charlie is still young, let him off. But that was really hurtful. Charlie, you should really apologize to little Treasure. Margaret was heartbroken as she saw Luna holding little Treasure tightly. She wished she had not let little Treasure appear tonight. She had overestimated this woman and forgot that the unpredictable might happen. She would rather keep little Treasure hidden at home and never see anyone, rather than to let him get hurt. After all, they could afford to provide little Treasure for his whole life. Willow knew that even though Matthew and Margaret would overlook this matter on the surface, they would surely be unhappy, so she helped to persuade Charlie. Charlie, be good, go and apologize to Leo, it's your fault. That's right, Leo is younger than you, and you should be the one protecting him. Jake lectured Charlie. Damn you, Charlie. What kind of kid is that? I'm a kid as well. I'm going to beat him up. That old fart Thomas must be doing this on purpose. Cleo could not hold it in anymore and was about to rush in when he was stopped by Theo. Bro, what are you doing? Your son, my nephew, is being bullied. Cleo was furious. Theo just looked at little Treasure and Luna silently without any expression. Charlie could not stand that everyone was helping the dumb kid, so he freed himself from Willow and yelled, he's autistic, he's sick, he's dumb. If not, why is he not talking? If he can talk to me, only then will I apologize. If not, I will never apologize. I'm not wrong. Charlie was forcing little Treasure to talk, his yelling filled the silent banquet hall. Sometime later, Thomas achieved what he intended. As he was about to have someone to send Charlie back home first, there was a young yet cold voice in the air, you're not worthy. That voice sounded childish and slightly hoarse, yet it was so impactful and drove a chill into everyone's ears and hearts. Chapter 853. He spoke. Everyone was stunned. Willow looked surprised. Charlie, who was still yelling a moment ago, was silenced. He had really spoken. This dumb kid actually said that he was not worthy of him to speak. Thomas's confidence was shattered in an instant. How was that possible? He had spent a lot of time investigating the child even before he came back to the country, and he was sure that the kidnap had left a severe psychological scar on the child, leaving him mute in the past 2 years. He even had such a low self-esteem and ran away by just listening to Willow and Margaret's conversation, yet now, not only did he not lose control, he even spoke. The tables had turned. So cool. someone from the crowd commented. The comment worked like a switch and it sparked exciting discussions. Oh my God. He is just 5 years old. He looks so soft and cute, but that moment was just so cool. I want to marry him. I wish I had been born 10 or 20 years later. Theo is too hard to deal with. I hope Little Treasure doesn't mind a girl older than him. Little Treasure's fluffy face had the same expression as his father. He did not even look at Charlie and just walked away from the crowd calmly while holding Luna's hand. The small silhouette left a large impact. Oh, Little Treasure is so neat. Cleo hugged his own brother. Theo looked through the crowd and his eyes met Luna's. He pushed Cleo away as his cold expression softened like the snow melting in spring. Is it just me or did that feel satisfying? Charlie was overdoing it just now. Even if Little Treasure is really autistic, he really shouldn't be doing that. He's forcing him to talk. How could he talk if he's autistic? Does he feel very happy to prove that Little Treasure is sick? That's right, so what if he's a genius? How can a top student really be so rude? It was just only one question that he couldn't solve and he got that angry. Who does he think he is? The world doesn't revolve around him. Not only is he jealous, he's very unkind as well. What was he thinking when talking to a 5-year-old kid? The little master was right, he's not worthy. Thank goodness it was just rumors. The little master is well, and extremely talented. His IQ and EQ is way superior than Charlie's. Some people were unhappy with Charlie's behavior, especially when they saw a cute child like Little Treasure being bullied. Their motherly instincts surfaced and they harshly criticized Charlie's personality. Chapter 854. Thomas's plan was to destroy Little Treasure tonight, but he did not expect that his plan would not only fail and do 0 damage to Little Treasure. Charlie was now despised by everyone. Thomas acted troubled and looked at Matthew, enunciating slowly, Elder Goldberg, I'm really sorry for what happened. Charlie is still young and his personality is too straightforward. He wouldn't easily change his mind although I've told him about it many times. He still won't change that attitude. His teacher mentioned that this trait of him is beneficial in academics, but it surely causes a big problem in his interpersonal relationships. Thomas rephrased Charlie's arrogance and mean attitude to persistence and straightforwardness. Matthew was still reeling from Little Treasure talking, but he understood that his surprise should be concealed carefully. If not, he would be indicating that he acknowledged Little Treasure was autistic, so he stayed calm on the surface. It's not a big deal, Thomas bro, Leo has to be responsible as well. His personality is exactly the same as his father's. They just don't like to talk, we rarely listen him talk at home as well. It's unavoidable that Charlie would misunderstand. Matthew used this chance to clarify the public's suspicions and avoid any future misunderstandings based on Little Treasure's silence. As for Little Treasure's remark of Charlie's unworthiness, Matthew ignored it and did not intend to apologize. Great job. As expected of Matthew's grandson. Since it's a misunderstanding, it's good that it's cleared up now. That's right. Many people just love to spread rumors. Kids are too young to separate the truth from lies. It's not entirely his fault. Some guests helped to clear up the awkward atmosphere as Charlie apologized under Thomas's harsh gaze. Matthew's anger disappeared because Little Treasure talked, so he generously let this matter off as he was feeling overjoyed that night. At the same time, Willow was holding onto Margaret's arms and she apologized, Auntie, I'm really sorry for tonight, we've been pretty strict with Charlie, but just like Little Treasure, he's been treated like the treasure of our family. It was his first time being slapped and he got too upset. That's why he said those harsh words, they aren't intentional, Auntie, don't take them personally. As Willow talked, she beckoned Charlie over. Charlie looked down and hid the fire in his eyes. I'm sorry, Grandmother Margaret, it's my fault, it wasn't intentional. Margaret looked at the red mark on his face and she sighed, it's okay now, don't blame yourself anymore, everything is cleared up now. Willow, quickly get him some ice. Your father used too much force. Willow was relieved as Margaret's tone softened. She brought Charlie away. The Goldberg family would not hold them responsible on the surface for this matter, but it would surely leave a scar inside them. She had to make her father behave himself in the time being. Chapter 855. From the beginning, she had disagreed with her father's decision to bring Charlie over. With Little Treasure's fragile condition, bringing Charlie along felt like bragging. However, her father mentioned that it had been too long since they appeared before them and that they needed a stage to show the Goldberg family the good genes of the Guan family, so she had agreed as she felt it was beneficial for her. She thought Little Treasure would not show up tonight and that even if he did, he would probably just appear for a little while. Who would have known that things would escalate to this stage? What went wrong? That woman's face appeared in Willow's mind. Acting as a servant who brought Little Treasure over to solve the question, she was not stupid at all, she had it planned all along. She actually devised a plan to embarrass them. She and her father had underestimated her greatly. Thomas realized that as well and they looked at each other and tensed up, keeping their guard up. Who knew what else would that woman do tonight? Could Little Treasure's quick recovery be all because of that woman? Willow mumbled while frowning. Thomas's expression darkened. That woman went to an unknown university in America at first, then somehow she got into the University of South California. But she majored in performing arts. How could she cure the child when Tom, a professional psychiatrist, had no clue how to help? From that kid's aura to the way he talks, he doesn't seem to have any problems. Although he did not want to admit it, this kid was much better than Charlie. One day, he would surely surpass his father, Theo. Such an amazing grandchild. No wonder Matthew and Margaret were so protective towards him. The worst part was that the Kingston family had always had the upper hand because the Goldberg family felt guilty towards them as Theo now had a child and even a girlfriend. However, after today, the tables had turned and he had to behave himself for some time to carefully get back on the good side of the Goldberg family. As for that child, he would need a strategy. The banquet was ending and the guests presented their gifts to Matthew. Thomas let out a sigh of relief. Fortunately, his gift today was going to be impactful. Matthew bro, I know that you love calligraphy. I accidentally found this work by Wang Zi when I was overseas and I immediately thought of you when I saw it. It took me quite some effort to get it back here, you'll surely like it. Thomas told Matthew. Matthew was a calligrapher himself. He was very well versed in the area of calligraphy and drawings, even reaching the level of a fanatic collector, so this gift hit his soft spot. Matthew took it carefully and looked through it again and again. He was extremely surprised. Thomas bro, your gift is too much for me. This was a priceless work of art and most of them had gone overseas. Not only did you need money and power to acquire them, one also needed luck as it was not easy to come across something this precious. Thomas smiled at him. You're welcome, our close relationship is worth more than this, and it's not that expensive anyway, I was just lucky. Chapter 856. Looking at the priceless calligraphy piece, the crowd was impressed although it was expected of Thomas. Are you kidding me? Not expensive? I remember this was auctioned in Zurich for $500 million. Seems like the Kingston family has been doing really well overseas in the recent years. Don't you see how close were Willow and Margaret just now? They might even be merging. Really? I thought Matthew intends to have a marriage relationship with the Sterling family. The Sterling are usually more geared towards families with a political and military background, and no matter how strong the Goldberg family's assets are, they are still businessmen. I don't think it's possible. Seeing that Thomas had given him such a priceless gift, Matthew's expression softened as he realized he was still seen as an important friend to the Guans. Of course, nonetheless, the gift he was looking forward to the most was Little Treasure's gift. Little Treasure, didn't you say you have a gift for me? What is it? Matthew asked nervously. Little Treasure looked up at his parents. Theo signaled to the servants, then they arranged some papers and calligraphy tools. Everyone gathered around. It seemed like the little master was going to write some calligraphy of his own. While it was definitely a filial act, it seemed a little normal especially after the priceless gift from Thomas. Luna quietly prepared the ink for Little Treasure while Theo and Cleo each spread a long sheet of paper and stood in front of Little Treasure. The crowd realized that the maid had prepared 2 calligraphy brushes. Was one a spare? Little Treasure used his small hands to pick up the brushes, one in each hand. He looked at the papers in front of him and calmed himself down, then put both the brushes on both of the papers at the same time. What was he doing? Everyone was curious. Little Treasure was actually writing with both hands at the same time. He finished the calligraphy in one go. On the left, he wrote, "Blessings from the Eastern Sea," and on the right, he wrote, "Longevity as the Southern Mountain." After they realized what Little Treasure had done, they were all astounded. He can write 2 different things at the same time. And that was amazing. Such powerful ambidextrous talent from a 5-year-old. Don't you guys remember that Matthew himself is a calligraphy artist? His grandson wouldn't be too shabby. Oh my God, I'm shocked. This child has gathered all the essence of the Goldberg family. Little Treasure's calligraphy had been taught by Matthew, but although he knew Little Treasure was pretty good at it, he was unaware of his ability to write 2 different scrolls at the same time. What was more shocking was that Little Treasure's wrist was not strong enough to write properly. His calligraphy might look nice, but it had been lacking in many aspects earlier. In just a few days, Little Treasure's calligraphy had become so powerful that it was really shocking to him. His impression of Luna changed. He was worried that staying with the woman might have a negative impact on Little Treasure, but not only he was able to talk, his body coordination seemed to have improved by leaps and bounds. He was sure that Little Treasure had gone through some sort of training. If not, it was impossible for him to write this well. Chapter 857. Matthew was slightly worried when he realized Little Treasure was about to present him with calligraphy art. Due to his achievements in the world of calligraphy, everyone's expectations would be really high, and in addition to the talented impression Little Treasure gave just a while ago, people might judge him harshly. However, the results were surprising and he was really glad. This surprise clearly made him much happier than Thomas's priceless gift. As the guests were praising the little bun, there was a loud and strong voice. The crowd looked at the source of the voice. It was a middle-aged man in his military uniform who walked in from the entrance. The man looked boldly at the host. He was the general from the Sterling family, Jonathan. "Chief Jonathan, welcome. Thank you for coming." Matthew went up and greeted him with a smile. "You're welcome, Elder Goldberg. I should apologize for being late." Jonathan replied. "Official tasks are, of course, more important. Please come in." Jonathan walked towards the calligraphy Little Treasure had just created and hid none of his impressed expression. "This calligraphy, did your grandson write them?" "Yes. It's his birthday present to me." Matthew was feeling proud. Jonathan glanced at the little guy. "Impressive. He can write with this strength at such a young age. Elder Goldberg, this kid has inherited the talent from you." As Jonathan was chatting to Matthew, he noticed Luna, who was beside Little Treasure. Luna recognized Jonathan as well, but it was not appropriate to talk to him at that time, so she looked down and pretended to not know him. Jonathan realized that she was in a maid's uniform and noticed her submission, so he quickly concealed his surprise, but then his eyes turned icy when he looked at Theo. The atmosphere got warmer as Jonathan arrived. As expected of a man from another prestigious family, many people wanted to rub shoulders with him. Most importantly, families like his rarely interacted with rich businessmen, and Matthew's birthday was one of the few occasions that he would show up at, so it was a rare occasion indeed. Thomas was tense. He knew that the starling intended to establish a marriage relationship with the Goldbergs, so he had to see what his biggest competitor was thinking. As the evening got later, the dinner ended and the guests were adjourning. Theo and Little Treasure sent the guests out while Luna went to the garden for a small break. As she sat on the swing, reminiscing Little Treasure's cool moments of the night, she noticed someone was closing in, and judging from the sound of their footsteps, she could determine that it was someone with a martial arts background. Luna stood up and looked behind her alertly. Her alertness became awkwardness. It was Jonathan. Why did he come here? Was he here just to find her? "So, that guy is treating you this way?" As Luna was contemplating, Jonathan suddenly spoke to her. Jonathan's expression looked unhappy, even a little cold when he spoke. Luna was confused. Chief Jonathan, who are you talking about? Was he talking to himself? Chapter 858. Jonathan was looking at her maid's outfit and was angry. Theo. You're his girlfriend, yet you had to wear this on his father's birthday. Luna finally realized what Jonathan meant, so she quickly explained, well, no. It's not like that, Chief Zhuang, you've misunderstood. There's some reasoning behind it, but it's not him that made me wear like this. Is he not planning to announce your relationship with him? Jonathan's expression was serious. Luna frowned a little. Was this question not too personal? However, looking at Jonathan's persistent face, she could sense his good intentions, so Luna hesitated but still replied him in the end, we're not announcing our relationship mainly due to my career. You should know being an actress isn't easy. Jonathan's expression softened, then he continued, I watched your movie, you acted really well. Luna's eyes widened. What, you watched my movie? The World? Jonathan nodded. Yes, you played the character of the female general really well. Luna was really excited. She blushed a little and replied gratefully, thank you. Thank you for your praise. She thought Jonathan would look down on her after he knew about her career, but not only did he not, he even praised her acting. His expression was genuine, he really thought she did very well. You didn't use any stunt doubles in the movie, did you? Jonathan asked. Luna nodded and replied embarrassingly, no, I didn't. That's a surprise. Do you have a background in martial arts? Jonathan was interested. The atmosphere softened as the topic shifted to acting. Luna became more relaxed now. Not exactly, I just learned a little. I was a stunt double before I officially become an actress. I always played similar characters when I was acting as stunt double overseas. They are really impressed by Kung Fu from China, and most of the time, they needed Eastern characters with good skills. That's impressive, working on your own overseas at such a young age, Jonathan commented. With her capabilities, there was so much more she could do to support herself, yet she chose the most difficult path. Luna had forgotten when was the last time someone had been so concerned about her, and she was touched. She smiled at him. Well, acting is my dream. I'm just doing what I love, it's not really difficult. Jonathan nodded. Sounds about right. This child was really good, and she had a great attitude as well. Jonathan looked impressed, then he spoke in a serious tone, little girl, you're a smart person. You should know that the Goldberg family doesn't really suit you. I won't say anything further about it, but just remember, if one day, you change your mind, do come and look for me. I have a lot of outstanding single men, each one of them talented on his own. There'll surely be one that you like. Luna was speechless. Jonathan was practically telling her, time to give up on Theo. I have a lot of good men for you. Chapter 859. Did she misunderstand him? What did Jonathan mean by that? As Luna was contemplating how to reply Jonathan, a firm grip suddenly held her waist, then she heard a cold voice, General Jonathan, it's not very gentlemanlike to interfere with someone's relationship, don't you think? Luna had no words to say. The devil is here. He even heard what Jonathan just said. Luna gulped and suddenly felt chills down her neck, feeling colder and colder. She tried to get away from the source of the coldness, but she was being held back even tighter around her waist, causing her to almost be unable to breathe. She decided to stay obedient and not move anymore. Jonathan looked at the brooding man calmly. I'm just saying that in case she changes her mind. Luna did not even need to look to know how scary the devil's expression would be right now, so she quickly interrupted, thank you for your good intentions, Chief Jonathan, but we're in a happy relationship right now and I would never change my mind. Theo's grip softened a little as she said that. Jonathan sighed and looked at her. Without saying anything, he left her with a sentence, if there's anything you need help with, do contact me. Drop by the shooting range for some fun when you're available. Oh, okay, thank you, Chief Jonathan. Luna let out a sigh of relief after Jonathan left. As she turned around to talk to Theo, her lips were blocked unexpectedly, the man's refreshing scent wafting through the air to reach her. Luna felt the air inside her getting thinner, and the worst part was that this guy was not kissing. He was totally biting her. She felt a sharp pain on her lips and her tongue went numb. His kiss became gentler once Luna moaned in pain, and he gently caressed the spots he tortured just now, but when she tried to struggle, he became wild again. She noticed that someone was coming. Luna anxiously pushed his chest away, blocking his next kiss. She spoke in a serious tone, "No. What if people saw us?" It was not a private dinner tonight and there were a lot of people around. A few maids had actually recognized her and asked if she was the actress Luna. In the dark, the man stared at the girl in the maid outfit, his eyes emitting beast-like rays. "So what if they see us?" "If they did, I'll bite you to death." Luna glared at him. She would not give way to her principles. The man's dangerous gaze turned to hurt. He hugged her tightly and laid his head on her shoulder. "When can I tell everyone that you're mine?" Chapter 860. Well, that. Luna softened her tone as she patted his back. "That day will surely come. Don't be impatient. Luna, I've said before that the only thing you need to consider is if you really love me, and it still applies right now. As long as you agree, no one and nothing can stop you from becoming my wife." Theo was promising her that no family influence or interference from any other sources would affect his decision. "I know, don't listen to Jonathan. He just doesn't know what's going on and he probably said that because he thought you did not want to announce our relationship to the public. Speaking of which, I wonder what he meant earlier?" Luna was curious. "He probably investigated your identity after what happened at the shooting range the other day," Theo replied. Luna frowned a little. "You mean, he knows that I'm the adopted daughter of the Ning family, or that he knows I'm actually his niece? So, he's just asking out of concern? But the Sterlings don't even acknowledge Rebecca now. Could they really be concerned about someone who's not even acknowledged by Rebecca? This did not make sense at all. Don't you realize that Jonathan likes you a lot?" Theo said with an unhappy expression. When his own treasure was being eyed by someone else, it irritated him. Really? Luna was surprised. She felt that Jonathan was just being gentle and kind towards her. "It's all because of your talent in shooting. He had no hope left for his useless son anymore, so he put his hopes on you and he probably hasn't given up on recruiting you into his team. So you had better stay away from him," Theo warned. "Oh." Luna nodded. "I've already said that I will not join that team. Moreover, I'd lose my freedom staying there. If I'm forbidden from seeing you for a few weeks, I might really miss you until I exhaust myself." Theo's stern face softened. He hugged her and kissed her cheek, then he looked at her. "Luna, remember what you say today. That day will never come. I'll not let you have the chance to change your mind." "Oh, I'm sorry. Am I interrupting?" Cleo covered his eyes with his hands. "What's the matter?" Theo asked. "Yes. Seems like someone's here for trouble. Go out and take a look." A while later, Cleo, Theo, and Luna stood in their front yard. There was a big bouquet of black flowers, dew on the petals refracting through the dim light, bringing a sense of uneasiness. "This is..." Looking at the bouquet of flowers, Luna frowned. "If I'm not mistaken, this is a black thorn apple?" Cleo affirmed, "Yes, giving this black and unfortunate flower on someone's birthday. Someone's clearly looking for trouble." Luna glanced at Theo and felt uneasy. She remembered the meaning of the black thorn apple, revenge. Was she overthinking?